another beautiful Friday morning. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning to you this morning. My name is Ayodele-Bamisaiye of Dexteritas Professional Corporation. I'm coming to you live from our offices here on Flint Road in Calgary, and it's another beautiful day. Yeah, it's the first day of spring. The snow is melting. The weather is way nicer. Today's going to be as high as 17 degrees Celsius, right? That's something to look forward to. Probably take a walk in the evening or something. Um, it's been an interesting tax season for me so far. Learning new things, seeing situations unfold, seeing the impacts of changes to legislation, systems. It's just been interesting so far. This morning, I am gonna talk about something that I personally find interesting. Um, I wrote about personal financial risk management in the course of the week. That's the newest blog post on my personal blog, ayodele-bamisaiye.com/blog home. And a few thoughts came across my mind there that I'm going to dwell on a bit. But before I go into that, um, if you do not have a plan on how to file your taxes and you're wondering, how am I going to get my tax returns filed? Particularly if your modest income, i.e., your family income is 50,000 Canadian dollars or less for 2025 calendar year, then I have a solution for you. My friends at the Financial Empowerment Initiative Network, brand repping, yay, are on hand to provide support to you. If you head to the Calgary Full Gospel Church, downtown Calgary, on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m., our volunteers are there and they are there to help you prepare and file those tax returns on the spot. So this is not a drop-off service. This is not a bring it in and then we'll get to you when it's done. No, this is a come in, sit down, walk in, we'll get it done. When you come in, it's not done. When you're leaving, it's filed. The CRA has it. That's how the service operates. And if you're in Edmonton, the Africa Center is our amazing host. They have made Thursdays and Fridays the days that our volunteers show up at their offices and they support members of the community with free tax filing services. So if you're modest income and you're in Calgary or you're in Edmonton, you can show up at these two locations and somebody will be available to support you to get your tax returns filed. This is going to go on until April 30, 2026. Now, if you're not in Calgary, you're not in Edmonton, and you're like, I'm still modest income and I qualify, then send an email. Send an email to taxes@thefei.ca or operations@thefei.ca. Somebody will respond to you to provide your availability, and then we'll book an appointment to have your tax returns prepared and filed virtually. Of course, you need a piece of government issued photo ID, and you need to be ready to turn your camera on and have a conversation with whoever is going to prepare your tax returns. So that is number one. Number two, yesterday was Founders Lounge by Startup Court, our International Women's Day edition. That was an exciting time. Listening to Wonder Woman, Miss Buki Wonder, as well as Amaka Onboya of Futurepreneur, and Bontu Galata, my amazing friend from ATB. Listening to them speak and answer questions asked by Daniela Jasper Okumagba was very revealing and very enlightening. It was a room full of entrepreneurs, founders, and business owners who are interested in learning and, of course, supporting our women in enterprise. So that was a beautiful one. April is around the corner. Mr. John Harrington, hello. He's going to be in the house. We have another fantastic session planned already, which we are unfolding and unfurling. There's more that you hear about that in the course of the coming weeks. Now, If you've heard about Plain Lean, the game, the entrepreneurship game, we plan to have a session on that in the month of May. If you are interested in that, then I suggest you sign up for May Founders Lounge. We're going to have a list of players for the month of May. So May Founders Lounge will require registration to play. Now, if you'd like to facilitate that, then head to volunteer.startupcore.com and you'll be able to raise your hand to volunteer, and we will provide you more information about that. But this is all about learning to play the game of entrepreneurship, and we're going to be doing this in collaboration with partners within the ecosystem. So all that being said, that's a mouthful, right? This morning I'm going to be asking you a question. When life happens, what does your money look like? Because life is not potentially going to happen. Life is definitely going to happen. Whether it's a pink slip and a job loss, whether it's a flat tire in the middle of nowhere, whether it's a medical situation that requires you to suddenly get expensive medication or medical care, whether it's a relationship that falls apart and costs you half of everything you own. Either way, at some point, life is going to happen. And when life happens, where's your money at? That's my question for you this morning. So, it's the potential to say, or the likelihood that you're saying, oh, if I just made more money, I'd save more, or if I just saved more, I'll be in a better position financially. It's most likely that's the tape that you're playing. That's most likely the mindset from which you're running your personal finances. And if that's you, then I'm here to tell you that, hey, probably maybe you need to revisit that thought process, because it may be sabotaging you. One thing I want to say is that high income does not guarantee stability. The more you make, if there is no structure and there's no plan, the concept called lifestyle creep is going to make it the more you spend. And if you don't have a plan that guards against that, that's just going to be the reality. So what am I trying to draw attention to? Every time we hear the term financial buffer, the thought is I have to save more. The thought is I need to, create some space for myself. And most of the time, everybody's thinking emergency fund. But if you've noticed, I've taken a systems approach to these personal finance conversations I've been having. And to risk management is still the same approach. It's about what system can you put in place to protect your personal finances. And that's where we are starting from. So cash alone fails when life happens, because what it means is you have cash to throw at the situation, but it's not every time that the answer is cash. Sometimes the answer is a life insurance policy, and other times the primary response, actually most times, the primary response is a structure for your money to flow through. That's the primary way to protect yourself. So this is how we get practical, right? This is how we get practical with this. First things first, thinking about how you protect your money. You need that buffer. You need that extra cash. You need that emergency fund. Oh, definitely you do. But that's not the only way that you protect yourself. Life insurance, disability insurance, those are key components of your personal financial buffer system. Because guess what? When something happens to the breadwinner of a family, it changes the financial situation significantly, unless there is a buffer in place for that. When the earners in a family go through a health challenge, and a two-income family becomes a one-income family, or a one-income family loses all of its income, then disability insurance becomes very important. The ability to be able to say, hey, I'm dealing with a health situation and I have a critical illness policy in place. that ensures that if something is happening to me, like cancer, like you know, a workplace injury or something of that nature, you are able to say, hey, I have the funds to continue to live my life without wiping out my savings, my emergency fund, or my asset base. Now, the third thing that you need to put in place that's part of your financial buffer is actually a system for your money. And that's what I talked about last week. You can check that out, the 5 account wealth system. What that will do is every dollar having a job ensures that you are building towards a life and a plan that makes you happy. So with those 3 things in mind, how does this become practical? Number 1, just begin. If you don't have an emergency fund, build one. What does an emergency fund mean? It means that number 1, you understand how much you incur in expenses to maintain your lifestyle within a month, a 30-day period. Now, if that is the case, an emergency fund means you have between 3 to 6 months of that kind of money set aside in an easily reachable account. It doesn't have to be a cash account, but it's an account that you can access easily in the event that life happens, right? Now, the next thing is look at your insurance situation. Do you have life insurance in place? Do you have critical illness insurance in place? Do you have policies that ensure that when life happens, you are able to bridge that gap without wiping out your entire asset base, right? That's where we get practical with this. So, what I want to draw your attention to is the fact that a financial buffer doesn't just protect your money, it protects your peace of mind. You're not worried, driving down that long stretch in the night. You are comfortable because you know that if anything happens, you have resources that you can reach into that will not wipe you out. The pink slip does not scare you because there's an emergency fund. And in the event that you find yourself in a difficult medical situation, your first worry is not how are you going to pay. You're not thinking about where the money to cover this is going to come from. So if you think about this and you're like, okay, I really don't know what to do in the face of this kind of questions, well, let's have a chat about it. I may have a few solutions that can make a difference for you. But I hope I've been able to challenge you this morning, give you something to think about, and better still, take action with regards to. Don't forget that we do not rise to the level of our intentions. We fall to the level of our systems and our structure. So putting a structure in place for your money is in your own interest. Wealth is really not what you build. It's what survives disruption. So when life happens, if your asset base is wiped out, then it means that you are not prepared, because wealth is always there. It stands resilient in the face of life and its situations. So that's my thought for you this Friday morning. My name is Ayodele-Bamisaiye of Dexteritas Professional Corporation. It's always a pleasure to come to you on Friday mornings like this and talk about all things personal finance and enterprise. And I'm grateful I get to do this. With that, I wish you an amazing Friday and have a great weekend ahead. If you're a senior and you're wondering about your personal taxes, I'm going to be putting up a flyer. The Financial Empowerment Initiative is going to be in the city of Calgary, Silvera for seniors, I believe, preparing taxes for senior citizens, and we're excited to make that happen tomorrow. With that, thank you very much for listening to me this Friday morning. I wish you an excellent weekend. Thank you very much, and bye for now.